Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's worth your time and bandwidth. Today's game is the Resident Evil 2 Remake. It was the remake that fans were clamoring for, and it wasn't a fixed camera pre-rendered backdrop tank control game like the RE1 Remake. Does it still deliver? Let's find out. Resident Evil 2 is a recreation of the PS1 game of the same name, but with modern graphics, an improved control scheme, and some tweaks to the story and pacing. Like the original game, you play as either Leon or Claire, the former being a rookie cop, and the latter searching for her star's brother Chris from Game 1. Unfortunately for both of them, Raccoon City has gone zombie mode, with the T-virus zombifying basically everybody, so it's up to them to escape the world's most convoluted police department, traverse a sewer level, and finally end up in an umbrella lab to figure out what's going on and escape the city. There's a lot more story this time round, with a greater emphasis on its limited roster of characters and the interactions between Claire, Leon, Ada, and Shelly. Gameplay-wise, it has been shaken up quite a bit. RE4 Remake, rather than being static screens and tank controls, is a third-person shooter, though with a little asterisk on that. While the control scheme has changed, this isn't Gears of War. Enemies are extremely dangerous, and often completely killing them is a waste of ammo. Like the older RE games back on the PS1, your true objective is finding optimal navigational routes through the various zones, rather than killing everyone on screen, as you need to be mindful of your resources. This ties into the other new gameplay mechanics, one of them being able to board up windows to prevent future zombie spawns, as well as targeting specific zombie limbs to sneak by rather than kill, and so on. Shortly into the game, you'll encounter Mr. X, a pursuer enemy who defies the laws of the map and basically loves to show up and ruin your fun. He mixes up the route ideas by intentionally sabotaging what might have been the optimal one, forcing you to adjust your strategy to get from point A to B. The main loop is that of exploring and pathfinding, as you'll be finding a whole host of objects in the world to solve puzzles, open specific doors with specific keys, and so on. The game doesn't blatantly hold your hand on where you need to go next, but does a great job guiding you via signposting, meaning the pace stays brisk over the game's short runtime. Upon beating the game as one character, you can play it again as the other, but with a modified story that's meant to happen in tandem with that first run. This is neat as it mixes up some puzzles, as well as the through line is a bit different. So basically, Resident Evil 2 uses the PS1 as a basic framework, but then modernizes it in almost every conceivable way. So what do I like about the RE2 Remake? Well, the game looks absolutely incredible, particularly its lighting and gore, with some horrific violence, environments, and enemies. Additionally, the remake controls work really well, particularly the focus mechanic, which basically requires you to stand still for higher accuracy and damage, but that also runs the risk of you being attacked. It feels like a good mix of the old games and RE4. And lastly, I feel like this game is a great mix of the scary horror setting, as well as some of that B-grade camp, although it definitely has a darker tone when compared to the original games. I particularly liked how gross the enemies were, and Sherry's new additional section is also a great little horror segment. When it comes to the bad, the A-B routes here are much weaker than in the original game, where you do stuff like leave items for the other character, and unlocking doors would change the run, and so on. It's nice, but not to the level of the first game, and also I dislike the Ada section in both versions. Additionally, while Mr. X's introduction is fantastic and memeable, his gameplay implementation comes off as more annoying than anything else. He basically just shows up and ruins your fun and makes you take a longer route to where you want to go, which is interesting at first and can get frustrating very quickly. And lastly, this might be a massive fan nitpick, but man, I really miss the original music from RE2. RE2's soundtrack was iconic, and most of it has been cut here just for silence or slightly atmospheric sound. It's not bad, but definitely makes the game feel like it lost a bit of the original soul. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale. Must play, maybe consider, don't bother. I absolutely think you should go check out RE2 Remake. It's a shining example of how to do a remake correctly. A lot of remakes just make the same game again with prettier graphics, which is generally okay, but for RE2 Remake, they also add a bunch of thoughtful mechanical improvements paired with an understanding of what made the original game so great. If you enjoy horror games at all, you should be playing the RE2 Remake. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think about the RE2 Remake? The best part is you can usually get it on sale for under $20 now. So let me know what you think in the comments and go out there and give it a play.